So we know how the code is managed and we know how to decode it. So just as a reference, this is the code where we update the number of lives to 9, from 3 to 9. But wait, we're not using age. We remember that everything is being used. We have the value to write, the memory location, the value that was written before, but we never use age. So what is age? Well, for the sake of completeness, we need to discuss what age is. And age just acts as a checksum, okay? So age is just needed to satisfy one condition. G XORed with age has to be 0, or G XORed with age has to be greater than 7. If it is not the case, the code will be deemed invalid. In this case, G is E and H is 6. So we will do an XOR operation and we get an 8. So 8 is greater, of course, is greater than 7. So the condition is satisfied and the code is deemed valid. Okay? And now the final question. What about invincible Pac-Man? We know how to upgrade the number of lives, and it makes total sense that we change the number from 3 to whatever we want. But how does invincible Pac-Man work? How do we make Pac-Man totally invincible, totally invulnerable to the ghosts? Well, let's see. This is the code to make Pac-Man invincible. C975AE7F2. Do I want to go through all the calculations by hand? No, I do not. And I will not torment you, showing you how I go one operation at a time. What I'm going to actually do is rely on something that someone from the community already built. And it's called Game Genie. I forked the project. This is the original project, but unfortunately it has a little bug. A small, very, very small bug. I already fixed that. I forked the repo. I fixed the bug and I already made a pull request. I don't know if the person is still available and if the person is gonna accept my pull request. But anyway, right now my repo has his original code and has the fix. So we will use this utility created by 0xbob and decode this little code, okay? This utility is coded in Python, by the way. So I'm just gonna input the code and here it is. This is the memory location and I'm going to substitute 26 by C9. This is the command, okay? 26 to C9 at this memory location. Let's go into the dump of the ROM and see what it's sitting in this memory location and what is going to happen when we change our 26 to C9, okay? This is gonna answer the question. Why does this simple switch in just 1 byte makes Pac-Man invincible? Let's go and see for ourselves. So the memory location 175A. And there's a 26, no surprise. Just as our utility confirmed, there is a 26 sitting here and we are going to change it with C9. But what will this accomplish? Well, maybe we're not looking at the right place. I mean, this is the right memory location, but this is just the pure dump of the ROM. Maybe this is not data. In the previous command, we were changing data. What if this is actually code? It would make more sense that we are changing code, right? So let's try on top and just input the same memory location. And there we go. You see, 26CB actually is an opcode that means load into register H the value CB, the hexadecimal value CB. So here we have it, 26 is a command and CB is what's gonna be loaded. So again, this means load the H register with the value hexadecimal value CB, okay? But remember, the Game Genie was not directing us to the value. It was directing us to the code, actually. And it was requesting us to change this value to C9. What is this going to do? Well, let's see. Oh, there you go. Return. So what happens now? We have an early return. So what is going on here? Most likely, there is a function in the code that checks if Pac-Man collided with another ghost, but we are adding an early return in this function. The game will go, check if Pac-Man collided, but it will return immediately, thus making Pac-Man totally invincible. And this is how the magic is achieved, okay? I hope you liked this video. It took me quite a while to get a hand on a Game Genie, just so I could show you how this worked, because it's part of our history, right? We need to preserve our history, and this is what we are doing right now. If you were lucky enough to have a Game Genie, now you know how it works. If you remember, there were Game Genies for the Sega Game Gear, for the NES, and it follows the exact same logic. The encoding is gonna vary, but in the end, it's just the same. It intercepts data coming from the ROM and it is switched with another value. Sometimes it's intercepting data, sometimes it's patching code, okay? Well, I really hope you enjoyed the video and thanks for watching. Bye.